Hi, my name's Shane Manzi. We're going to talk again about using chord inversions. It just helps us to play melodically when we access the notes from the chord we're playing over. Some easy ways to do that without having to think of approaching those notes within a scale is to use our chord inversions. And we spoke a little bit about this in another lesson where I was just showing you guys the dyads, or parts of the chords within the key of G. So we had G major. We're using what's called our first inversion for each chord. G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and G major. And the frets for those were, and these are all just on the first, second, and third string, but the frets were starting on the third string. 4, 3, and 3. We bar 3 and 3 with our first finger. So 4, 3, and 3. That's our G major chord. Here's our root note. A minor. That's a barring of the 5th fret. Bar the 7th fret for B minor. Then we repeat our first shape up at the 8th fret with our second finger on fret 9, 3rd string, and then we're barring fret 8 on the remaining 2 strings with our first finger. We move that shape up a whole step. Then back to our minor shape to E minor. So that was C major, D major, E minor. F sharp diminished is a little different. Starting from the 3rd string down, we have fret 14, then 13, then 14 again on the 1st string. That's a diminished shape. And our repeat, or our octave, of the G shape we're using. So again, if you can't see this too well, try and use your ears to find these notes. Always helps to train those ears. This used throughout various forms of playing. What I'm going to do today is embellish static chord shapes, or just a chord shape, and embellish it with notes from the chords surrounding it, which also just happen to be the scale tones from the key of G. So say I have a shape like this, my first chord G. To that I just added notes from the A minor shape, G major. Players like Jimi Hendrix use this quite a bit. Here's a rhythm sort of in the style of Jimi Hendrix using this technique. So that's just me embellishing the chords with notes from the scale. So we have our G major chord, and I'm using notes from the 2 surrounding chords, one a second up from it, the A minor, and one a third up from it, the B minor, which is quite a stretch with the pinky. But once you get used to it, it's not that bad. You hear this in tons of styles of music, and it really helps you when you want to create a truly melodic solo. It's a good start. Helps you learn your scale too. Sounds good and works. It's functional. That's our A minor. B minor. C major. So I was just hitting the notes at random. I wasn't hitting them in any specific order, but I was just choosing scale tones or chord tones from the inversions that we had discussed earlier and just adding them to whatever chord I was playing. So G major, I was reaching out. A minor, I was reaching out. B minor, so on and so forth. So hopefully this is something you can find useful to your playing. I'm sure you can. And for more information, you can go to my webpage and you can find a couple other lessons there. Also, if you're in the Rhode Island area and you'd like to take some guitar lessons with me, my contact information is in the information box. Been teaching here for about 7 years. I teach at a studio in Coventry called the Guitar Studio, and I also do private lessons where I come out to your house. So I hope to hear from you soon, and I hope this helped you out. Thanks.